I have an absolutely massive video for you today, guys. The test server for SiegeX dropped yesterday, and I'm going to show you 25 map changes that are coming in SiegeX. Now, before you get into this, let's go down into the comment section. Let me know if there's anything that I missed, maybe that I didn't spot on a map, and put it down in the comment section so I can put it in a future video. And of course, let's aim for 500 likes on this video as quickly as possible. Let's get it within 24 hours. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, of course, and the notification bell so you know when I upload my next video. And without me talking anymore, let's dive in and get started. So this first change is on Chalet down inside Snowmobile. Now you might have seen this in the reload event. They've added a metal sheet in front of the green bin, which is normally the default plant spot. So if you're out in blue and you're shooting in through the green bin, you could take out the person planting the bomb, but you will be no longer able to do this. So this is a really interesting change. And the same goes inside of Connector here. They've actually taken away some of those containers on the ground and replaced it with a long shelf coming out from the middle of the room. It makes the room a little bit more spacious to maneuver around and better for holding angles for anyone who's trying to break open that big wall from Big Garage and push in towards Wine. Now this next change, one of my favorite spots, getting inside the barrels here, is now gone forever. They've added metal railings all along the lower part of these shelving units. So one of my favorite spots is now gone from the game. Now moving on to the next one, guys, and we are going to take a look over here inside Office on the top floor. They've brought back the fridge up on top of this table, so you're going to be able to get back up on top of this fridge to place Evil Eyes or cams up on top of the side of the wooden beam. This is such an interesting change that they're bringing this back. Normally they're trying to get rid of all these spots, so this is such a cool thing for them to do, to bring this back into the game. Now, insulation has been completely removed from the ceiling on all of the basement level of the map. Now, this is again an interesting change, and I can understand why they did it, because there were certain points on the ceiling that you could actually put gadgets and they would go up inside the insulation. Especially here on the bottom of the stairs coming down into blue, you used to be able to put like Fenriers and like Ela mines up inside the insulation, and the attackers couldn't see them and they'd get hit as they're pushing down towards the site. So an important change, I think. Again, this allows for cameras to be more hidden as well. Overall, a really good change for gadget usage on the map. Now this is a weird one. So down inside Big Garage, this car right here, you used to be able to vault up on this really easily and see over the top of those blue containers, so if you got the big wall open, but the vault seems to be fully removed except along the edges. However, there is a way to get up here. Again, there is a really difficult vault prompt that you can find by just wiggling back and forth. In fact, the vault prompt doesn't even show up sometimes, so you still can get up here, but for some reason they've made it more difficult. Now on to Cafe for this next one. This is a huge change. A whole new platform has been added on the roof, and they've taken away the railing on the side of the building, so you can actually fall off the building now. So you're going to have to be very careful if you're looking down into New Hatch that you don't move back too far, because you'll end up falling off the building. So the railing being gone, I can notice that you might be able to get up on top of that arch by going along the side of the front of the building. Now on Cafe here, inside the kitchen freezer, they've taken away the shelf that was normally up against the wall. Again, another one of my favorite spots to get into. By jumping on that counter, you used to be able to vault up on top of it and see over the top of the reinforcement, but that has been removed, and they've moved the shelf to the other side of the room. Now you can get onto the shelf, but you're kind of like a sitting duck if they get that freezer wall open, so it's not exactly a great spot to sit in, and there's a potential you can get on top of it, but again, it's not very useful. Now the other big change is on the top floor inside the cigar shop. The small little hatch room has been changed a little bit. There used to be 3 wooden panels on the side, now there's only 2, so you're going to have to figure out and re-establish where that angle is into that freezer door. And there is a small sliver of wood on the side of it as well, where you can see here with the one punch hole in it, but I think it just looks a lot different because of the marble texture that's on it, but it has been changed with that panel being removed. Now the other change is regards to free-flowing rappelling. Obviously with the introduction of advanced rappelling, this is going to allow for so much more when you're rappelling on the building, especially on Cafe, because those little columns that are coming down from the side of the building would always stop you from moving along the wall, but now you can actually go past them. So you can see here I'm rappelling on the front side, I can go all the way past each individual pillar here, because when you would be rappelling on that exact spot there, you would not be able to keep going all the way along the wall. This is going to allow for so much for attackers when pushing these bomb sites. It's going to confuse defenders. You could have multiple people rappelling and maneuvering around the building, breaking windows, pre-firing, really distracting the defenders and allowing you to have the opportunity to rappel in, maybe get the diffuser down, and again sit on the windows, moving between the windows and protecting the diffuser. Now the other change is they've basically just made White Stairs blue, so I guess that we're going to now be calling White Stairs Blue Stairs. I don't know what's going to happen there. Let me know in the comments what you think about that one. You can see here the platform is now blue, and then they've added a small like kind of battery on the side of those coils, I guess to protect people from like getting up on top of that generator and looking out the window. Now moving up onto the top floor, once again the clock inside of Piano Room has been moved slightly up against the wall. There used to be a way you could get behind the clock and have a spot in there, and they've now prevented that by moving it to the side of the wall. Now over onto Clubhouse for this next change, and the rappelling on the front side of the building where you used to be able to get an angle onto con window is now no longer possible. I guess this is due to the advanced rappel system because you're going to be moving around the side of the building. So they basically make it impossible now to get an angle. You have to actually maneuver around the side of the building to be able to see that con window. So it's a bit of a loss, but it's also good for the defenders. You can see from the example that I'm showing here, you cannot get an angle. You have to maneuver around the side of the building, which is putting you at major risk of being picked off by any defender in the window. The next change is inside the master bedroom. It's a very simple one. They've basically just replaced the stack of bottles in the corner of the room with 2 kegs on the wall. I don't know what this change is really for. Maybe just, I don't know, make more room for people to sit behind that countertop. But it's a change all the same. Maybe we'll figure out what the reasoning for that is. Maybe there was like some spot you could get into from there, but otherwise it's a simple change in the master bedroom. Now on the roof, there used to be a way you could actually go along the side of this ledge and get onto the lower roof below to get angles into CCTV, but they've added these 2 small metal railings to prevent you from now getting along that ledge. It's again a simple change just to prevent a spot from being done. I do like that they're kind of maneuvering some spots out of the game and bringing some back in. So it's kind of like a little bit of a balance between the two. You can see here over for the Logi hatch, you used to be able to get onto this ledge behind the railing and see down in towards that con wall, but they actually didn't fully patch this. You can still get onto the little vent just off that ledge, and you can still use this angle to see into con. So not like a full patch. I don't really know if they made a mistake here. And you can also drop down off of this vent onto the ground down below. It saves you time having to rappel down, and you can quickly re-access the building from kitchen below or head down the hallway towards main stairs. Now the next change will be over onto Border. Inside the archives room on the 2nd floor, as you can remember, you had to run from the monitor up on top of the cardboard boxes to get onto that middle shelf. You no longer have to do that. They've added 2 metal pallets which are now fully vaultable, meaning you can get easily up on top of this shelf. So again, this is like what I said a minute ago, where they're actually adding stuff back into the game, and I think this is a great change because it's such a used spot. Always people trying to get up on top of this shelf to put BPs up there or Evil Eyes, so it's nice that they actually just made it a permanent part of the game. The other thing is they moved this shelf a small bit to the right because there used to be a way you could get up on top of that shelf using the bomb chassis, so I guess that's just preventing that spot. It's because it was a little OP if you were up inside that spot. So a simple change, but again, just something that they wanted removed from the game. Now the next change is they've taken out the drone hole angle for that bathroom downstairs on the 1st floor by moving the trash can over a small bit. Now this is one of my favorite angles. I would always lay prone here with Callie or a Glaz and try and pick anyone off who would maybe have a shield on the door watching that bathroom door from the hallway down towards waiting room. So I'm disappointed with this one, but I can understand that they are really just not a fan of drone holes. They've been blocking them off and changing them quite regularly. Now again, this is a really tiny change. There used to be a stack of these wooden weapon cases. They've only now got 1 weapon case, and I've put a green metal container underneath it. I don't know what the reason for that is. It's still a spot. You can still vault into it and hide by the metal detector for any attackers pushing in towards the bomb site. Next change takes us over onto Canal. You can see here on top of Skybridge, they've actually lowered these black containers, so you can't really head glitch it as much anymore. So when you're standing up, you can see from your waist up. This is again a very simple but effective change for defenders and attackers pushing across Skybridge. So they're all of the changes that I've spotted so far. If there's any ones that I've missed, as I have not covered some of the other maps, I mainly focused on the modernized maps, but obviously I just included that Canal I'll change. But if you've spotted any other on other maps like Nighthaven or Skyscraper or so on, then make sure to comment down below and let me know, or join up on my Discord. I just put it on screen and it's in the description down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and until the next time, I'll talk to you in the next one.